Phil should.
We won't go there.
Al said that Phil was on his side, so.
The Muscatine City Council will come to order. Fran, would you conduct a roll call, please?
Councilmembers Lorette, Fitzgerald.
Present.
Notfig, Shahade.
Present.
Bynum,
Present.
Phillips.
Present.
Spread.
Present.
5 present and 2 absent, Your Honor.
Thank you, Fran. Ladies and gentlemen, would you rise and join me in our Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and good evening, everyone. If there's anyone in the council chambers tonight that has an issue with the council that is not on the agenda for tonight, now would be the time to come forward. So noted. Item number 5, consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes items 6A, items 8A through D, filing of communications, which is 12A through F, and tonight's bills totaling $1,177,815.34.
So move, Your Honor.
That would be Bob, and Tom, did I hear you as a second? Any discussion, council? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, moving down to item 7, public hearing. This public hearing concerns the proposed annexation to and within the city of Muscatine, the eastern portion of Ripley's Mobile Home Park. The city has entered into an agreement with Ripley's Development Incorporated to extend sanitary gravity sewer from Park Avenue West to Ripley's Mobile Home Park. This agreement also included a voluntary annexation agreement covering the mobile home park. The proposed voluntary annexation area is split into a western portion and an eastern portion by the existing boundaries of the city of Muscatine. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommends the approval of this voluntary annexation. Prior to any formal action by City Council, a public hearing is required. Now is the time for the public to comment.
Move to close the public hearing.
That would be Phil to close. A second?
Second.
Second, Tom. This is a voice vote, folks. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Item B. This public hearing concerns the proposed annexation to and within the city of Muscatine, the western portion. The city has entered into an agreement with Ripley's Development Incorporated to extend sanitary gravity sewer from Park Avenue West to Ripley's Mobile Home Park. This agreement also included a voluntary annexation agreement covering the mobile home park. The proposed voluntary annexation area is split into a western portion and an eastern portion by the existing boundaries of the city of Muscatine. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommends the approval of this voluntary annexation. Prior to any formal action by City Council, a public hearing is required. Now is the time for the public to comment.
Move to close, Your Honor.
Motion to close by Tom, and a second.
Second, Your Honor.
Second, is that you, Bob?
Could be.
Okay. This also is a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Item C, this public hearing concerns the proposed submission of a community development block grant application for downtown revitalization in the city of Muscatine. The Iowa Economic Development Authority has opened its application window for its CDBG Downtown Revitalization Program. Successful applications from communities the size of Muscatine could be awarded up to $500,000 for building facade improvements and other downtown revitalization projects. To qualify for the program, applications must meet one of several national objectives. The Muscatine Community Development staff has identified the slum or blight national objective as the best suited for an application from the city. Prior to the submission of the application, a public hearing is required. Now is the time for the public to comment.
Move to close.
Osama motions to close. A second?
Second.
Second, Jeanette. All those in favor say aye.
Mayor,
Oh, sorry. Steve, you'd like the floor? Okay.
I'll be brief, but the application that we have to file requires that we cover some items with city council in a public setting and have them entered into the record that they were covered, so I'm going to take a minute and cover those so we have all the prerequisites handled for the expected submission of the application later this month. This project became available on a review with the Iowa Economic Development Authority, who toured the city and had an opportunity to stop in and talk with the community development staff. We toured the downtown and discussed the potential for using the facade program that they have through the Community Development Block Grant Program, but not necessarily on the facades, but rather on the rear of the buildings that front on the corridor, the Mississippi Drive corridor. And to further define that proposed target area, we're looking specifically at the 2 blocks between Iowa Avenue and Cedar Street in the number 1 alley that essentially front on Mississippi Drive. Those are the ones that are most visible, and those are the ones we think we can have the biggest impact. The director of that department was excited about the opportunity. We do have some obligations to comply with national standards for rehabilitation of historic buildings, and we had to meet with 27 different property owners that were identified as owning or possessing some of the real estate in that 2-block area. I would further clarify it by saying it includes the half-block Iowa Avenue and the same block off Iowa Avenue behind Mississippi Brew and that. So we got all those buildings in that 2-block area. We've already had 2 meetings with some of the property owners and discussed the options, potential for this project. They seem supportive. We are meeting with the balance of the property owners that were unable to attend one of those 2 meetings previously tomorrow. That should wrap that up. This is a rather aggressive schedule to get this application in. We have to do an analysis of the buildings. We have to do elevations. It has to be submitted by an architect. So we're working on all those projects as we speak now in anticipation of your support for this. The current plan is that it will not involve any local tax dollars. It will involve staff time, and that's our contribution to it. However, we are talking, I guess I should qualify that, we are talking about pulling down all the electric lines in those 2 blocks and putting them all underground. And we will discuss that with the property owners. Once those are removed, then we'll have kind of a bare canvas on the backs of those buildings to do tuck pointing and restoration of the windows and the facades and those things on the backside, and get them stabilized in a lot better condition than they currently are. I am proposing that we restore the alley to its original condition when this is completed. We'll do the 2 blocks all together, knock it out, have all the underground done, get rid of the utility lines and poles, and then the city would restore those 2 blocks of alleyway as our contribution to the project. With that, I'm going to go through the few things I need to bring into the public arena as far as the minutes, and then I'll try to respond to questions. The first is how were the project identified, and I alluded to the fact that we met with the department. We viewed the proposed area that was under consideration. They encouraged us to put together an application, and we discussed the timeline and how we might move forward with it. So we have contacted, again, a number of the property owners down there in 2 separate meetings to discuss the potential for this project. We'll meet with the balance of them tomorrow, and then we should have made contact with all of them at least once. How will the proposed activities be funded? And the source of funds, a maximum available funding of $500,000 is available through the Iowa Economic Development Authority. We intend to apply for the maximum amount of $500,000. When's the application have to be submitted? It has to be submitted not later than 11:59 p.m. Wednesday, January 30th. So between now and then, we have to have a number of things completed, back for review and your approval to submit our application. What is the requested amount of federal funds? We're asking for $500,000, as I said. The estimated portion of federal funds that will benefit low and moderate income. This is kind of a moving target, but the the thought is that generally any of the low moderate income families that do business in those stores will benefit either directly or indirectly, at least from the standpoint that the buildings are stabilized using other sources of funding that would help hold, we hope, hold the prices down that the owners has to ask folks to pay for goods and services they receive in those stores, and or the potential for folks in the upper stories to occupy the residential units upstairs. Where will the proposed activities be conducted? Again, it'll be in the 2 blocks east of Iowa, between Iowa and Cedar in the number 1 alley. And what are plans to displace persons? Nobody is anticipated be displaced as a result of this program. And what are the plans to assist? Well, that doesn't apply because we aren't going to displace anybody. And what's the nature of the proposed activities? We'll be in a better position to discuss this with you, the City Council, at the in-depth meeting next week when we have a little more detail, because as you might expect, we're kind of running around trying to pull everything together right now. But the proposed activities include restoration, repair, and replacement of historic rear and front facades and windows, removal of electrical lines attached to the buildings, replacement of deteriorated brick and other repairs associated with that. Because it is a federal project, again, we'll have to comply with the Secretary's standards for historic renovation, and we will be subject to Davis-Bacon wage reports and all the other things. So we will be involved in this, we, the staff, will be involved in this throughout the process and coordinating the administration of the project with all 27 property owners. That's where we are. That's what we needed to cover tonight. Again, the timeline, just for your information, is we would hope to come back to City Council next Thursday night to give a report on more specifics involving and preliminary costs involved with the project. Hopefully have some renderings from an architect to share with you as to what it might look like when we're finished. And we would then come to you on your last meeting in January, which is the 17th. And we are expecting that we won't be completed with the application, but we'll be far enough along that we should be able to review the bones of this application with you for your prior approval to submit, with the understanding of what items we're going to use to complete it so we can meet the deadline on the 31st. We will not have an opportunity to come back and visit with you again about it. So we'll ask for your permission on the 17th for submittal. Questions from anyone?
I have 2. This is not limited to the rear of the building only. If it affects those buildings, can they also use some of the funds on the front of the building if they work front and back together?
Yes, they are eligible, and that's the way the application will read. Our focus, frankly, is on the rear. I'm not sure that we'll be able to get as much done as we hope to get done for that amount of money, but we're sure going to try.
Okay, and the second question, you said restore the alley. Is this restored back with concrete, asphalt, or restore it with brick?
No, that'll be a point of discussion, but if we restore it, it'll be restored to asphalt. That's the surface that's currently there. We'll have to go through there, and in an ideal situation, we'd coordinate with the owners and tear up that alley and get all those utilities dropped down at the same time, and we'll have to get a transformer placed probably across the alley, maybe in a parking stall in one of the city lots, in order to accommodate dropping all those lines down and running through a transformer, bringing them over to the buildings, and then our end of it would be come back in after that and restore that alley. And I'm assuming it'll be asphalt, but we're certainly open to whatever the City Council would like.
We're going to ask for participation from Muscatine Power and Water on this?
I've already had a conversation with their staff today. They're going to come back with some preliminary numbers. I can tell you that my initial discussion with them is that they would have to set the transformer, and it would be their policy to extend all the drops across the alley to the other side to feed the buildings. At that point, it's the owner's responsibility to actually, to put the service underground. So that's where we are preliminarily with that, but that'll flesh out in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else, council? Very good. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
This is a voice vote, folks. So those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. Carries 5-0. Item D, this public hearing concerns the proposed West Hill Area Sanitation and Storm Sewer Separation Project, or Phase 2. The design for the second phase of this project has been completed, and the anticipated bid opening date is January 31st, 2013. Work includes approximately 2,500 feet of new sanitary sewer on 6th Street, Spruce Street, and Locust Streets, 1,400 feet of storm sewer on Lynn Street, 6th Street, and Locust Streets, 1,500 feet of sanitary sewer, and another 1,500 feet of future storm sewer within the ravine fill site. This separation work will also include new inlets and piping, 4 junction structures, pavement replacement as needed, with full-width pavement replacement on 6th Street, Lynn Street, Spruce Street, and Locust Streets. Grading and filling the ravine fill site at the west end of 6th Street will also be done. Prior to any formal action by City Council, a public hearing is required. Now is the time for the public to comment. Motion to close.
So moved.
Osama, and a second.
We have a presentation.
Oh, sorry, Mike Knotts from Stanley Consultants, please.
Might have to help me decide how to position this thing, so everybody can see it, but sooner or later, you folks are gonna get tired of looking at these colored lines on
If you
this
get finished with the
photograph.
project, we won't have to look at them
See
anymore.
anything?
Council has a copy of it.
Council has their,
We,
Council, a copy on your
yeah.
desk.
Yeah, we do.
Here, man. Okay. This is phase 2 of the West Hill Sanitary and Storm Sewer Separation Project. The design's been completed. As mentioned in the reading, the bids will be open on this project January 31st. The one thing that's going to delay construction, I'll show you in a minute, but we won't be able to allow the contractor to get started on construction immediately. The estimated construction cost for phase 2 is $4.6 million, and that will all be paid for locally, primarily out of the 1 cent option tax that's accumulating at all times, and we hope to go as far as we can into the future with that 1 cent money. Okay, this is a drawing that shows, or an aerial photograph that shows both phase 1 that's currently under construction, and construction was completed on Cedar Street out to 8th. And this spring we will begin here at the intersection of 6th and Cedar Street and head up 6th Street with new sanitary sewer that will feed into this new 20-inch sanitary interceptor that went in along Cedar Street. This phase 2 project will ultimately become about 8 phases, we think. Originally, we had a consent order with EPA for completing all the separation work in the West Hill area by the year 2024, but we recently got a 4-year extension on that consent order from EPA. So now all of West Hill has to be done by 2028 is the plan. And we'll continue on quickly after phase 2 is done to phase 3 and on all the way to probably about phase 8. Okay, the reason, can you still hear me, Randy? Am I getting too far away from it?
Fine.
Okay. This is where this is the point at which phase 1 will end, and this contractor for phase 2 won't be able to start until the phase 1 work is done up to this point, so he can take off from the piping that was installed along 6th Street. The green lines that you see are both storm and sanitary sewers. And beginning here and extending all the way out through the ravine will be a new 54-inch diameter storm sewer that will connect into an existing sewer here. And at this point over here on H Street, it will pick up the rest of the lower West Branch sewer that extends on out this way and on into Lucas Street. So this 54-inch storm sewer will be a combined sewer for some period of time until we get everything separated west of this point here. Okay, also simultaneously with this new storm sewer will be smaller new sanitary sewers on Lynn, Spruce, and Locust Street, and some new smaller storm sewers on these locations also. But there'll be a 10-inch sanitary sewer that will extend from this point all the way out through the ravine to H Street, and it'll be blanked off at this point for connection of future sanitary sewers coming from both directions on H Street. Contract 2, or Phase 2, we expect to be done midsummer of 14. Is that about right, Carmen? Fall of 2014. But this contractor, again, can't start until this is ready, and that's the way the contract reads now. And of course, Langman is the current contractor, and there's a chance Langman will get this part of the project also, but that's subject to an open bidding process. So that's the essence of the project. Does anyone have any questions on?
No questions, council? Thank you, Mike. I have a motion from Osama to close. I need a second.
Second, Your Honor.
That would be Bob, and all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. All right, moving on down the agenda, item 11 from the city administrator is a resolution approving the annexation to and within the city of Muscatine, the eastern portion of Ripley's Mobile Home Park. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution approving the annexation to and within the city of Muscatine, the eastern portion of Ripley's Mobile Home Park?
So moved, Your Honor.
That would be Tom.
Second.
And Jeanette with the second. Any discussion, council? It's a roll call vote beginning with Tom.
Aye.
Jeanette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Osama?
Aye.
And Phil?
Aye.
Did I miss anyone? I didn't, but it was just a short night here on council chambers. Motion carries 5-0. Item B, resolution approving the annexation to and within the city of Muscatine, the western portion. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution approving the annexation to and within the city of Muscatine, the western portion?
So
A
moved,
motion.
Your Honor.
Tom?
So moved, Your Honor.
And a second?
Second, Your
Jeanette,
Honor.
do that again?
Bob?
Okay, any discussion, council? Also a roll call vote, beginning with Tom.
Aye.
Jeanette?
Aye.
And Bob?
Aye.
Osama?
Aye.
And Phil?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item C, presented for city council's consideration is the final reading of an ordinance rezoning property located at 2875 Highway 61. Request has been received from Community Bank on behalf of Mills Marine LLC for the rezoning of two adjoining parcels totaling approximately 18 acres located at the above address from Muscatine County C1 to C1, Muscatine County C1 to C1 Neighborhood and General Commercial. There is a signed annexation agreement for these parcels, and this rezoning would run concurrently with the completion of the annexation process. Is there a motion to adopt the final reading of the ordinance as submitted and to direct for its publication as required by law?
So moved.
I'll give that to Phil, and a second, Jeanette. Any discussion, council? It's a roll call vote again, beginning with Phil.
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Jeanette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And Osama?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item D, presented for city council's consideration is the final reading of an ordinance rezoning property owned by Ripley's Development Corporation. The corporation is the deed holder of 9 parcels totaling 131.8 acres of land along US Highway 61, upon which Ripley's Mobile Home Park is located. An agreement has been signed by the corporation to voluntarily annex these parcels into the city of Muscatine. It is being requested that these parcels be rezoned from Muscatine County M2, A1, and R1 to an R4 residential district. The rezoning will run concurrently with the annexation of these parcels. Is there a motion to adopt the final reading of the ordinance as submitted and to direct for its publication as required by law?
So moved, Your Honor.
That's Tom, and a second?
Second, Your Honor.
Second, Osama. Any discussion, council? It's a roll call vote beginning with Tom
Aye.
and Jeanette.
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Osama?
Aye.
And Phil?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item E, presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution approving the plans, specifications, form of contract, cost estimate, and setting the bid opening date for the West Hill Area Sanitary and Storm Sewer Separation Project, or Phase 2. The design for the second phase of this project has been completed, and the anticipated bid opening date is January 31st, 2013. Work includes approximately 2,500 feet of new sanitary sewer on 6th Street, Spruce Street, and Locust Streets, 1,400 feet of storm sewer on Lynn, 6th, and Locust Streets, 1,500 feet of sanitary sewer, and another 1,500 feet of future storm sewer within the ravine fill site. The separation work will also include new inlets and piping, 4 junction structures, pavement replacement as needed with fill width pavement replacement on 6th, Lynn, Spruce, and Locust Streets. Grading and filling the ravine fill site at the west end of 6th Streets will also be done. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So move.
That's Bob.
Second, Your Honor.
Second, Osama. Any discussion, council? Roll call vote, beginning with Bob.
Aye.
Osama.
Aye.
Phil.
Aye.
Tom.
Aye.
And Jeanette.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item F, presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution accepting completed work for the Cedar Street Culvert Extensions Project and accepting completed work. In August 2011, the city entered into an agreement with Sulzberger Excavating for this project in the amount of $544,652.40. All work has been completed, with 2 change orders totaling $8,090.50 and a deduction of $2,667.37 for remaining bid item adjustments. The final contract amount is $550,075.53. It is staff's recommendation that the resolution be adopted accepting the completed work for the project and authorizing final payment to the contractor. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved.
Jeanette, and a second?
Second, Your Honor.
Second, Bob. Any discussion, council? It's a roll call, beginning with Jeanette
Aye.
and Bob.
Aye.
Osama.
Aye.
Phil.
Aye.
And Tom.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item G, presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution accepting completed work for the Cedar Street Clearing Project and authorizing final payment. In March 2012, the city entered into an agreement with Sulzberger Excavating for this project in the amount of $24,596.25. All work has been completed. A bid item quantity adjustment resulted in an increase of $890.91 for a final contract amount of $25,487.16. It is staff's recommendation the resolution be adopted accepting the completed work and authorizing final payment to the contractor. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
That would be Phil, and the second?
Second.
Second, Tom. Any discussion, council? Roll call, beginning with Phil.
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Jeanette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Osama?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item H, presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution accepting completed work for the Mulberry and Palms Drive infrastructure installed as part of the Fridley Theater project, subject to the receipt of the performance and maintenance bond. As a part of the infrastructure for the Fridley Theater project, pavement reconstruction on Mulberry Avenue took place and Palms Drive was constructed. Construction of the public infrastructure was found to be in substantial accordance to the plans and specifications and has met the necessary testing requirements. It is staff's recommendation the completed work be accepted subject to the receipt of the maintenance bond. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
That would be Phil.
Second.
Second, Tom. Any discussion, council? Beginning with Phil, a roll call.
Aye.
And Tom?
Aye.
And Jeanette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And Osama?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item I, presented for city council's consideration is a resolution approving the official pay plan for non-union employees as it pertains to the fire department's restructuring. The non-union pay plan will be revised to create the classification of assistant fire chief effective January 6, 2013. This position will be placed in pay grade 9. The pay plan will also be revised to change the current classification of assistant fire chief to battalion chief effective January 6, 2013. This position will remain at a pay grade 8. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So move, Your Honor.
That's Bob, and a second?
Second.
Second, Osama. Any discussion, council? It's a roll call, beginning with Bob
Aye.
and Osama.
Aye.
Phil?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
And Jeanette?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. J, item J, presented for city council's consideration is a resolution setting a public hearing on a loan agreement in an amount not to exceed $1,200,000. The city's financial consultant has analyzed and proposed a refunding of the final 3 years of the city's June 1st, 2006 general obligation bond issue. It is projected the city will realize an interest savings estimated at $50,920 over the 3 years after taking into consideration the refunding bond issuance costs. The matter was discussed at council's December in-depth meeting. Prior to any formal action by city council, a public hearing is required. This hearing will take place on Thursday, January 17th, 2013 at 7 p.m. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved.
Jeanette, and a second?
Second, Your Honor.
Second, Phil. Any discussion, council? Also a roll call, beginning with Jeanette.
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Osama?
Aye.
Phil?
Aye.
And Tom?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item K, presented for city council's consideration is a request to approve change order number 9 for the Water Pollution Control Plant Improvements Project, the pay estimate, and the reduction in retainage. The payment estimate in the amount of $162,964 includes the following: payment for the work completed since the last payment application, payment for change order number 9 in the amount of $21,875, which does not include arc flash study, reduction of the retainage to $90,000, reduction of $33,275 for retainage paid by the city to Hutchinson Engineering Products in conjunction with ordering the new affluent pumps. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Tom? Second?
Second, Your Honor.
Second, Bob. Any discussion, council? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Item L, presented for city council's consideration, is a request to issue a purchase order for carpet for the Stanley Gallery at the Muscatine Art Center. 3 bids were received, with a low bid coming from Carpetland in the amount of $16,810, which includes installation. There is $21,000 budgeted for this project. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved.
That would be Jeanette.
Second.
Second, Osama. Discussion, council? The voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Item M, presented for city council's consideration, is a request to approve a non-alcohol beverage agreement for the golf course. The current 5-year agreement expires on February 28, 2013. 2 vendors responded to the request for proposals with the recommended cost factor from Coca-Cola Refreshments in the amount of $12,466.88. The cost factor demonstrates the Coca-Cola Refreshments proposal is projected to cost $3,377.87 less annually and $16,889.35 less over the 5-year proposed agreement period. It is staff's recommendation that City Council approve a 5-year agreement with Coca-Cola Refreshments for non-alcohol beverages at the golf course. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted? Need a motion? I'll be darned. Looks like it dies for lack of a motion.
As for lack of a second, I'll need some additional clarification on what you'd like to include in any subsequent RFPs that would go out. This RFP met all the qualifications. I'm not sure what additional information the council would like to include in that RFP.
Anyone?
On this? How about service?
Level of service, we have recommendations from the provider. You'd like to see something in writing regarding level of
Yes.
service?
And 'cause I-
24/7, if possible. Weekends, 24/7.
Could we have a copy of the RFP sent to council for their individual review?
As far as service is concerned, we have spoken with the Coke provider, and they have guarantees that they will personally deliver as needed any products that we should have.
Everybody can tell you that. We don't see it in writing here.
Okay? But that's
So-
what they have guaranteed us.
That's fine.
I believe it's included in the packet.
Where is Coca-Cola located at? Where
I
is,
believe Quad Cities,
where?
I think they're in the industrial park in Rock Island.
Rock Island, yeah.
Rock Island, okay?
Oh, it's not in the, we don't know. So if you have, Dan, over the last 5 years, have you ever run out of product over the weekend? And how was the service provided by your local vendor?
Just for clarification, the RFP was given to council with my memo and information in it, and the address is provided in there.
I haven't.
Okay, it's in there.
I'm looking.
In the 3 seasons that I have been here, we've never had any issues with the service that's been provided. We have not run out on a weekend. We've been able to stock enough throughout the week that it hasn't been an issue.
How about your customers? What flavor they prefer? I mean, I'm not a pop drinker, so especially when I play golf, I mean, I drink water, but
Whatever.
yeah, that too. So, but I don't know what's the preference for what you hear from your customers.
We have a captured market at the golf course. We only offer one selection.
But I know, but
We don't
would
take a survey.
somebody come and say, I would like Coke, but we say, no, we have Pepsi only, so that's what I'm,
I don't have numbers that I could attach to that. So I couldn't tell you for sure one way or the other.
With the service and for the past 3 years, have you had any complaints about the service?
I have none, no complaints.
Would you rank them as better than average or excellent?
In my limited experience, they have met or exceeded all of our needs.
Thank you.
so from looking at the numbers here that it's provided, I see there is a trend of decline by the number of cases sold each year for the last 5 years. So is that, if that trend continues, what matter if you have Pepsi? You're not going to save that much money here or generate that much money, I would say, if that trend continues over the next 5 years, despite who's there.
The cost factor that we came up with is making assumptions based on past actual sales. So it does not necessarily apply that to the future, but in there is also the incentive, the guaranteed incentive that was included in the proposals that we did receive.
Understand? Thank you.
Any other recommendations for the city administrator, council?
No, just put that in writing here, and you can send it out for rebid.
Level of service is the only thing missing at this point in time that you'd like included in writing. That's my understanding.
Well, if there is no vote, both of them go. Is that correct?
If there's no vote, it fails for lack of a section. Excuse me, it failed for lack of a motion.
Yep. It will go for rebid. That's what it will be, so,
Okay, we'll move on.
thank you.
Item N, presented for City Council's consideration, is a request to approve a lease agreement with the Iowa Department of Transportation for the Mark Twain Overlook. The overlook area is owned by the Iowa Department of Transportation and has been leased to the city since 1978 for maintenance, care, and recreational usage. The 5-year lease expired on July 1st, 2012. It is staff's recommendation the city enter into a lease with the Iowa Department of Transportation for the Mark Twain Overlook for an additional 5 years through July 1st, 2017. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
That's Osama, and a second?
Second, Your Honor.
Second, Bob. Any discussion, council? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, item 14, it is now time for communication from our council members, and since Councilman Loretta is not here tonight, Councilman Fitzgerald, we'll start with you.
I have nothing at this time, Your Honor.
Good. Councilman Shahade.
I have nothing tonight. Thank you, Your Honor.
Councilman Bynum.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Councilperson Phillips.
Nothing, thank you.
Councilman Spread.
Nothing to add, Your Honor.
Greg.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
And Fran.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Wow, and I have nothing either. Any other business, council?
So moved.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Meeting's adjourned.
Yeah.
Don't mind.